Morning, y'all.
Morning.
About to do it again. No sleep. Yard full of Easter eggs. Loading to go to Tennessee.
And a load of empty boxes.
Oh yeah. Here we go. Back with the RV that I've dubbed Rolling Gold, although it hasn't rolled anywhere in quite a number of years. Bees that I took last night, I got everything but a bunch of stragglers that were all over the ground, and they bunched up in one place under here. So I'm about to vacuum those out in the same bucket that I'm going to remove that other hive with. They'll join up fine once they're in the vac. They won't know the difference, so they'll all be on the same team. You saw how big this hive was last night. It was where I cut. The last hive that was in here went all the way to the wheelhouse. As huge as that was, there was a bigger one in there before. Welcome back to the 628 Dirt Rooster channel, where hobby beekeeping is a way of life. And we're here at 628 Dirt Rooster channel. We got some of the finest hats and shirts in the beekeeping industry. You can order yours online at 628dirtrooster.com, or you can catch us at events like the upcoming North American Honeybee Expo. Just a couple of our newest shirts. Here's our latest hats. If you don't know what's going on in this video, we're picking up from a previous video that went viral. First video of ours to ever go over 1 million views in under a month. So I was pretty excited about that, and I was kind of let it run its course before we got into the second half of this job, which was cutting out a rather large hive on the other side of the same RV. But the first one, if you didn't see it, here's some pictures from it, and it was an interesting job. So if you want to go back and watch it, I'll link the video in the description and the comments. I don't think I'm going to have to cut anything on this one. Somebody left this storage door open for the it's the power access. Looks like a fairly new colony, just swarmed in recently. I won't know until I get the bees off the comb and see what there is there. It's 4:30 in the evening. It's been storming most of the afternoon. Rivers are up. Those canoes might come in handy getting out of here if it rains anymore. On top of it being stormy today, it's about 10 degrees cooler than it was yesterday. So 65 degrees right now. So I'm trying to reduce my venom intake for the evening. Now, as I start working on this side, I can't really see what you're seeing. You have a great vantage point right here where the camera is set up. I can see at a pretty sharp angle through that door. I can tell there's a decent amount of bees, but I didn't think it was anything near what I actually found in there. There's an absolute massive swarm that moved in there and started building. It's all brand new comb, but there was a lot of it. And I can't, at the position I'm sitting right there, I can't really see much. I can tell there's a few hoses, and I can tell I'm hitting a little bit of comb, but that's really all I can see at that point. But what's kind of telling is the jiggle. You can see where when I grab the bees and start vacuuming and they jiggle, the whole wall of them kind of moves. Well, they're festooning off each other, so they're hanging on each other's legs all the way down. And when I grab a few, I'm moving a lot. and the absolute mass of those bees is just shaking, just jiggling. So the more the jiggle, the more the bees. And that blue hose that you see up top there is plumbed into that second door. If you recall, on the outside there was another door right behind the one that I'm working through that looks like it would go to where these bees are. Well, the only thing that door opened to was that pipe. So I can't see. I wish that one was open and I could have just gone in there and really just had good access to them, but I didn't. So now they're starting to work on me because I'm not working slow enough. I didn't know how many bees were in there. I thought it was a lot smaller group than what it was. So I'm moving kind of fast, trying to hurry up and make short work of it. They're starting to work on my arms and legs. And then, of course, the property owner standing over there checking on me. Are you okay? You're taking a lot of stings. Right here where it looks like I'm just vacuuming a few at a time off the edge of the doorway, I'm actually sucking up guards. Those are the ones that can see me. The ones that are back in the space, they can see that hose coming in, but they can't really see me. So the ones that are on the edge of that door frame, I'm pulling them, getting a few under my veil, getting, I don't remember how many stings I took. I ended up actually going and putting a suit on to finish this job, but that was way later. I took quite a few stings before I decided to go put a jacket on. There goes another one. So as I worked, the homeowner and her friend who was over there learning about bees, they're over there watching me and they're just going, I don't know how you're doing it. Why don't you get up and put a suit on? Yeah, I'll get this done in just a minute. Won't have to worry about it. Well, again, I didn't know how many bees were actually there. So they're just wearing me out right at this point. And now is where I get up to go take a break. Couple things to notice here. When I came back in and I kind of felt that opening before I sat down, I'm sitting on a 5-gallon bucket, which is kind of low for me, so I'm using that opening to stabilize myself while I felt for bees just to make sure I wasn't grabbing any, because you are absolutely going to get stung if you grab them by accident. The other thing is that I'm moving quite a bit slower. So the slower you move, the more smoothly you move, and some of my movements are kind of fast, but I'm moving a lot slower than I was to begin with. So the slower you move and the more smoothly you move, the less you're going to irritate them and stir them up. By this time I had taken enough stings that I was like, okay, I get your point, I'm going to slow down a little bit. Well, they were still not having it. They were still getting me, and eventually I did end up going and suiting up to finish the job. But at this point I still really can't tell how much there is there. I hadn't gotten to take out any combs yet. And before I did take combs out, I did have a suit on and gloves on because I was reaching up in there, couldn't see anything. They were already stirred up. It's a overcast, cool day, and so they're still working on me. You can tell when I get stung. Now I know we got a lot of good beekeepers watching that at this point are going to say, "Well, genius, you're covered in alarm pheromone." There's some truth to that. There was alarm pheromone in my shirt and my pants, but they were mostly stinging me in my forearms and my hands. And thankfully, even though this pole barn was like 1/8 of a mile from any residential structure, there was power and water there. So I had been washing my arms with soap and water and cleaning up occasionally to try to minimize that. But just the weather, the temperature, that all had them pretty defensive, and they just weren't having it. So took a lot of stings on this one. They got more in here than I thought. It's all built up around in these hoses. It ain't terrible, but it's quite a bit bigger than I thought it was. This is where I decided to get up and go ahead and get a jacket and some gloves on. And then I got sidetracked returning phone calls, and the camera sat and ran like this for 25 more minutes before the battery went dead. So there's 25 minutes of this footage of bees working and clustering back up. But right now you can start to see all that white comb in the bottom down there. That entire corner, the full height of that space was filled with soft, white, delicate, beautiful comb with a lot of eggs in it and a lot of nectar, and it was all wrapped in those hoses and wires, and there wasn't any really good way to get it all out in one piece. So I was just having to reach in after I got the bees off of it, reach in and just drag it out in chunks. And so unfortunately I didn't check the battery in the camera, and that was the end of what I got on the cutout. Well, y'all, I thought I was gonna get away with no stings in the face anyway. I done got one in the head and about 20 in the arms or more. Freaking overcast days. Trying to talk James here into getting into the bee business. Man's got all the tools and the know-how. He's learning bees right now. He's learning how not to do it without a suit.